Hello, my name is Ron Holton, and this is Coffee Run, my FMP pitch for Level 3 Creative Media, Year 2. The story is about a man named Barista, also known as Barry, who suffers from addiction. Throughout the film, he is going to experience withdrawal symptoms from caffeine. The story starts off with him going to buy some coffee at the store when they are all out, and then meeting a man who mentions how his addiction is holding him back from the things in life that he could achieve. The man sets Barry out onto a journey when he promises a bag of coffee that never deplenishes at the end of the journey, because he is a wizard and he is magical in the sense where he can create these things. Throughout the story, that is the only thing he will create. Through his journey, he will experience many hard comes and roadblocks throughout because of his addiction and withdrawal, when in reality it's a simple journey made difficult by his addiction and withdrawal symptoms that he experiences throughout the film. By the end of the film, he will realize that his addiction has been holding him back and that he wants to remedy it for the future, and goes back home without the coffee by the end of the film, showing how he's dedicated and improving himself for the better. My target audience would range around 15 to 30, mainly because that's, I would say, the biggest range of people who would go through addiction in today's day and age because of smoking and drugs in the real world. This story would cater to people who have experienced addiction and withdrawal, or people who are going through it as well, hopefully showing how they can improve themselves as well through the story, like the main character through the story of my short film. This will be posted on YouTube, which will then be advertised on other social medias through a link to the YouTube page where the video will be found, hopefully creating a larger audience than just people who already have me on YouTube or whatever. I would not cater to this type of content to younger audiences because it's more of a serious topic than my other projects, which have been more silly, compared to this one, which will have a more serious undertone and not have any comedy written into it. If it is funny, that'll be by accident. The characters are a lot more simpler this time as well, hopefully creating a much more diverse and better story by the end of the film. Barista Barry, who is the main character, who has a caffeine problem, he goes through withdrawals through this film and gets better over time, where he realizes how much it burdens him and how much he wants to redeem himself for the future and his life in general. The second character is Esmond. You won't learn his name in the short film probably. I just wanted to give him a name. Who is a mysterious man who sends Barista on the quest. He's a character who can see the flaws and qualities with ease through the main character as soon as he meets him, showing how he's a wise man who knows what he's talking about and that he's been around for a while, who's experienced things similar to him as well. Little will be known about him due to the fact he won't be a major screen presence throughout the film. He's just kind of a backbone to Barry's redemption through the film and how he wants to get better. Why do I want to make this for my FMP? I'm excited to do this because I want to try much more different types of projects rather than just comedies like Depersonalization and Massa, which were a lot of fun to make. However, by the end of the product, weren't as great as I would have hoped. Massa being a lot better than Depersonalization, even though it wasn't a major project like this or Depersonalization. Through this project, I want to improve my skills from previous projects and improve skills that I have not worked on before. For example, I want to start leaning more into world building, like in my video essay that I did for the last unit, where I discussed world building in full. I want to really dive into world building, trying to create a story that is worth watching and makes chronological sense throughout the time frame it runs for. Skills I want to improve that I already have would require a lot more of my dedication due to the fact I've improved on them already from the depersonalization from Massa to Massa, improving my video cinematography skills, sound skills, and quality in film as well. Through depersonalization, the story had no real chronological sense throughout the story, where Massa, it made sense because it was much simpler for a short film type project. I have rewatched my old projects for this project, and I hope this project goes even better than those, especially depersonalization, which from only being less than a year old now, through my skills and how I've improved, it's a much harder watch to get through than Massa, just because it's lacking in all the skills that I have improved on throughout and have worked on from that point in time. Depersonalization now seems like quite a flop in my college career, and I hope Coffee Run will be the highlight of this whole experience through college. I want to really dive into the outdoor shots, having very minimal shots inside, due to the fact of it's a lot easier to create a project based on inside a building rather than outside. I struggled through in depersonalization with outdoor scenes, not having the correct equipment, or so I hope that I am much more prepared for this one and that I can pull it off. I think my smaller about 2-minute clip in Massa when they were outside near the canal was much better than all the scenes in depersonalization, and I hope to improve even further, creating a much more cinematic look throughout the film, and working on in post-production with color palettes, trying to keep a consistent color throughout the film, potentially going with a much more darker color scheme to resemble the themes and his struggle throughout the film. light coffee colours just to stay on theme with the coffee as well. Hopefully creating a much cooler atmosphere than previous scenes. Inspiration stem from all over the place through different sorts of media that I viewed for this project, going through different short films, movies, old movies on TV shows that I used to watch or have watched before, and researching into addiction and withdrawal symptoms to create a realistic story through this short film, hopefully bringing it together to create a very full story with no plot holes whatsoever, like in my previous project. Through addiction, I want to show a part of his past that he enjoys. A part of overcoming addiction is doing things that you enjoy, to battle the addiction and cravings for whatever you're addicted to. And through the withdrawals, I want to show how his personality and how his body reacts without the coffee or caffeine within the film. For example, he'll suffer from aches and pains, which is a symptom of addiction and withdrawal, and have a moody and impatient personality at the beginning of the film because he has not had any yet through the day. And I want to create a hallucination scene at one point through the film where he will either see a giant coffee cup or a table with a coffee on it, depending on how well it goes in post-production. I'll shoot both of them around the same time, obviously through the production phase, just in case, trying to do different types of things and experimenting with them throughout the project to hopefully create a much more interesting film and create a much more challenging scene for me to create throughout this project to meet the marking criteria. For an evaluation, we are not doing one this time, and we'll be doing it through a journal where each week we'll be evaluating what we did through the week and having a structure for it each week to show exactly how we've created and produced this project each week as time goes on. Currently, I have done 2 weeks and showing the first week here on the left. I will compare it to how I have struggled in the past and how I can improve for the future, and what I can do next week to improve it even further to hopefully create a much more believable and interesting story and a better project in the end for the unit. I will also hopefully be getting some feedback from peers that work alongside me and people I show in my personal life to get a better understanding on where I can improve and where I've gone wrong to put into the evaluation and improve on the next week, hopefully improving all aspects of my projects from previous units and years, hopefully evaluating everything to do with this project and hopefully through peers gaining knowledge on things I potentially overlooked or potentially didn't realise when going over it myself. For each stage, I have planned out how the project should go and how I want it to go. Starting with pre-production, we'll be getting scripts, storyboards and planning documents all done. Production, multiple shots with different versions of the shot and different versions of this plot within the shot. And then post-production, improving my skills through color correction, sound editing and editing. In general, improving each aspect of my production stages of the project and short film. How it could go wrong, problems I could face would be to do with dates and the people I'm working with. For example, with hopefully getting Robbie to act as my main character. If he is ill, or if I am ill, or there is something preventing us from getting there on the day, we'll have to rebook, and hopefully I can do that with the time I have, and I will get all the footage I will need no matter what. Some things about part that are out of our control would be if we needed to rebook shoots for if files got corrupted or lost, or if the environment like rain or the roads aren't well enough to be transported to these places. We'll have to rethink of a new schedule and get the footage on another day, hopefully creating a more stable project and improve my project's time capabilities, leaving myself enough time to produce a whole project within the time given for the final project. In conclusion, this will be my biggest project and I hope it will be my best. I am planning on creating the best short film I possibly can with this last project, pushing myself and creating a much more ideal story to create in a short film, hopefully improving my skills and helping for my future in media, and hopefully being the best project of my time at college, leaving it off with a really nice note by the end of the year. And that is my idea for the FMP so far, and thank you for listening, and please let me know what you think I should add or change for the future of this project.